Hello and welcome to another exciting time of Gospel Manager. It's a new week and we're so excited for what God will do for us in this new week. It's our week of magical words and it's our earnest prayer that God will put in your mouth the wisdom and the words that will attract favors to you and your family. Now, please note that we have special thanks to everyone who had always been viewers of the Gospel Manager, to everyone who has sent in their messages of facilitations and gratefulness for God's servant bringing this live. We are also grateful to you for your kind words. Now, remember, you could send in your questions at the comment section in the social media platforms with which you are streaming from. And don't forget that from wherever you are, you could send in your questions. And also from our friends viewing via other channels, remember you could send in your questions via email, Telegraph, and also WhatsApp. The email is thegospelmanager@gmail.com. And the text for WhatsApp and Telegram is +234 9047 533019. As usual, I'm not alone. God's servant is in the platform with me. I'm going to leave the floor now for him to give his opening remarks and set the course for this episode. Good morning, Dad, and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Let's do the best to be prompt in what we do. We delay people a lot. We take our systems of how we operate to affect others. Some people are very smart in doing things, some are very slow. So, what is the balance here? Be prompt at all times. Promptness is a very key thing to the progressions of life. So, let's learn to be prompt. And if we all learn how to be prompt, we will reduce the crisis rate of the earth. And I'm going to explain three things. A conversation that was supposed to be held earlier, that was delayed. When it is finally held, it creates more crisis. A work that was supposed to be done, that was not done when it was supposed to be done. At the time when the person now feels it has to be done, too many things have cropped in. It will now delay the weight of that job. Something that was supposed to be repaired and was kept and not repaired and refused or neglected, the time you want to repair it, it has created more damage. So let us try to be prompt, solving problems when we have to solve them, meeting needs when we have to meet them, doing things when we have to do them. Not because it is convenient for us, because it's something that has to be done at the time when it's supposed to be done. So it does not create a situation when we are, because the self-made man is when I am ready. I am not fine. I am not ready. And those are the things that has given the entire earth a lot of problems. So if you can solve the attitude of not doing things promptly, we will have a lot of results on the earth.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a very good way to start this morning's stream, promptness. Before I go into the questions as outlined from you, of course, who are sending your question, I think we should first of all start the question segment with the issue and the topic of promptness because a large amount of us have failed in this aspect, especially when we feel overwhelmed by the work or the activity that we do. I have been a victim of not acting promptly, and if you're sincere, you discover you yourself have also been a victim, whether it's a delayed conversation, as God's servant has also said, or a delayed job delivery, allowing the compilation of so many other jobs, or if it is the response to addressing or correcting a problem, whether it's a mechanical problem in terms of a car or a machine, or whether it is a personal issue also, when it's not attended to promptly, then we'll begin to have issues creep in. So the question will be, how can we deal with this issue of promptness? Although to some of us we feel we already have the answer figured out in our head, but the question then is, if you have the answers, how come we are not seeing the results? Let's hear God's servant's take on this, and as he gives us a proper correction, especially to us who are people in a vision and people who are building a vision?
One of the first way to treat any life issue is to see ahead of you. As ordinary as I just said these words, they are as powerful as life itself. So the moment you start seeing ahead of you, what it does to you is to give you a drive. That sight now produces a drive, and it's that drive that tells you you have to do things on time. Because the problem why people procrastinate, because they don't have a drive for what they do. If you have a drive to make let me start from the basics, your marriage succeed, you will not be delaying to do certain things that has to be done. Because if you have that drive to see it succeed, now, matters of emotions, when it has to be met, matters of domestic capacity, when it has to be met, you just have life patterned and you know when certain things have to be done. Then it comes to official matters. We have a target, it's 3 weeks target. What is my 24 hours doing? What do I do with it? And all of those things those calculations play because you have a drive. And when the drive is in place, then targets will be met. And that's where promptness comes in. So if we build back the drive, even to reconciliation of issues, why will you have a problem with somebody you're close to? It's simple. It's when you start delaying offenses, you get offended, you have something to say all the time, you are not knowing when to rectify issues. Those are the things that causes problem, just diversions like that. So if you know when to say things, know when to do things, and that will come because of your drive for eating. And if you have those drives playing themselves back, and you notice everything will just go as a flow in a work environment, in a family environment, in a church-related environment, and you will notice that there will be growth, because growth is not, people think growth is because somebody came and, growth is simple. Promptness, knowing when to do things, and things will grow. Growth is not a person, growth is a function. If a good person sits and is not functioning well, it will not grow. So growth is not a person, it's a function. You know when to do everything. Whether you are dying, make sure when it is time to do certain things, they are done. Because if you are not doing that thing when it's supposed to be done, you are stagnating the place. No matter how effective you are, if there's a time to do a thing and you don't do it, you are also killing that place. Though you are useful to the system, but we have to do this thing at the next 3 hours. And if we go beyond that 3 hours and you didn't fulfill it, you are also killing that system. Sometimes people think those who don't work are the problem. Those who are even effective are even more of the problem of a system. Because they get too powerful in a place that they now begin to feel they can now outtime the system. I will do it when I am ready, when I am free. So those kind of attitude too will ruin an entire system. So we need to look at these things. They are affecting a lot of issues. Check any church that is not growing. It's not because they don't preach a message. It's even the people who you thought are useful that will drag the system by doing things when they feel it has to be done. Check any business. Check any marriage that is having a problem. Just sit down and ask questions. You will discover the man is not doing things when he has to do it. The woman is not doing things when she has to do it. It's not when they are supposed to do it. Kids are not doing things when they have to do it, not when they are supposed to do it. That's where the problem is. And if we don't handle these things, we would think it's the devil. It's not the devil. We are not prompt in handling these issues. And if we do them right, we are going to have a lot of peace around us.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, that's very profound, and it's a huge lesson to all of us, especially myself also. Now, let's go to the questions as been sent. This is from Pastor Bernard. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. I listened to a previous episode as I stumbled upon Gospel Manager last Friday. So I went through all the sections on Facebook, and then I noticed in one of the episodes you mentioned the moment when you almost gave up. What exactly did you pray or do at that moment that helped you raise above it?
I have studied my investment process, and I have this, it's a habit of investing everything I have to people. I don't have reservations about people. I just take them. I invest my everything to people. So it was lately I started understanding that you're not supposed to invest like that, because you are not monies. It's only money you put all in the bank. But if you want to invest on people, you must also keep the part of you that will be strong enough to stand the difficulties that they will bring to you. So that's when I began to realize that if you're investing on people, also prepare for the difficulties it brings to your life. So that decision is what I took. Before, I would just give myself to people, and if everything I have just goes to people. So when they bring difficulties, I don't have anything to defend the difficulties. So it's a problem. It was really a problem to me. So very recently I started discovering that human beings will always come up with certain things that you don't expect. So you must prepare for those difficult days when they come. And if you don't, you're not in the mind of people, so you always make sure the things you don't know, you prepare for them. So what I do now, I'm preparing for the things I don't know. That's the way I just live my life now. I just prepare for things I don't know. And then, so when they come, I already know that. So those are the things, that's the pattern I have used to always bring back myself to the place where I'm not hot. I bring back myself. I keep bringing back myself. I keep bringing back myself. And then, so it's helped me to where I am today. And it will always become the pattern I will use to stay and to move. I don't ask too many questions anymore. Before, I'm a very curious person, but I've stopped being curious. Because as a leader, instead of being curious, stay prepared. Instead of you trying to be very curious about why is this thing happening like this, why are people behaving like this, it's not necessary. Stay prepared and be sure of what you are doing. The moment you are sure what you are doing and stay prepared, don't bother yourself anymore. If you are sure that that is a vision God gave you, it will surely. Now, see, look at this thing. If the right people are not with you, you will not grow, no matter how useful you are. So when life begins to remove the wrong people, why are you bothering yourself about it? The right people will always be there for you, and you don't, whether you are doing anything bad or good. Those who are in a cult have colleagues, people staying around them there. Are they not with the people? How much more you a man of God? Those who are in dirty things, they have followers sticking their neck to those bad things people are doing. So how much more you a man of God, decent, very decent, not properly decent. So you just have to stay prepared, and as the time recycles itself, the right people will come to your system, or you grow the right people who are already there, and they match up to the level of what you want to achieve, man. But saying that you have to remain there, as I was doing before, bothered and troubled, no, you're going to have a lot of issue with yourself. So that's how I just prepare myself for the good part of success and the bad part of success.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so there's a very important question that I'll be taking now, but I want to paraphrase it for some certain reasons. And the question is more like, I have followed a mentor for over 25 years, And along my followership of this mentor for 25 years, he had always spoken about his own mentor. And but lately, he had started speaking against some of the things that his mentor does, and he gives the excuse that he has read and he has seen that those were more like wrong doctrines. Now, for the person who asked the question, he has cut off ties with his mentor because of that singular reason. So he's trying to ask, how does he get another mentor?
I as a father, I will not abuse another man's father because the child is crying. Because I will do something also tomorrow that my child will not appreciate and will abuse my conduct. So I will try to let people know that the trajectories of scriptures should always be looked at when we do everything we do. When Jesus offended the 120 and they all left, and he turned and faced the 12 and said, "What are you doing here?" They said, and I believe that we don't read that part of the Bible. They say, "You have the words of life." It's a message he preached that the 120, the others left. So he turned and looked at the 12. "Are you still here? Why are you not gone?" They say, "The message you preach, they are words of life." So if some persons left, the ones that stayed are the true disciples. If you're a true disciple, messages don't change. When messages try to change in your heart, it simply means you are the one that has the problem, not the person who is your father. The person who is your father does not have a problem. He's always going to be who he is. If he has started preaching something you don't understand, it's to pray for him. That's all you owe him. But you are the one discovering the error. He has not seen the error. Because you are the one discovering the error. So let's be careful. Because everybody is looking for who to call them father or mentor. I don't need that. So I won't sit here and tell you, get out and look for another person. Because I won't do that. I don't need that. As I'm one man who does not need sons in the Lord. I don't need it for anything. I don't need it. So I'll only tell you, trade your life with caution. And be careful when you start contradicting things that have once blessed you. If you tell me that you feel you have to leave a man because he's no more blessing you, it's a different thing. But saying that you are leaving him because you notice his message is no more the way it was before, then you already have a problem. You have a heart issue. So let's be careful with this fatherhood thing, which has been polluted everywhere. Even my class of men, we are preaching people departing those who have blessed them. No. Let's be careful with these things because they are raising the wrong picture, the wrong alarms about ministry. And it's not good for us. We are not politicians. We are men of God. We hear from God. We read the Bible. So let us use Jesus and the disciples as, because those are the model pictures. How did they depart from their Father in the Lord? All right. When Jesus preached the message and told them, because rebuke is one thing too, that is creating departure everywhere now. When a father rebukes his son in the Lord, he gets a vision to start a church and starts talking against the person and leaves. Jesus rebuked Peter and called him Satan. Satan is using you. Peter betrayed Jesus 3 times. Now, all of those dimensions should have made Peter, I'm looking for someone, man, this guy is not worthy to be his father. But he was still there. When he went off, he was brought back and became the reasons why the Acts of the Apostles began his programming. So instead of you to look for what to accuse, you should be praying for the person you're accusing, because that person for 20 something years is the reason why you are doing ministry. And you cannot follow somebody for that long, and now you have something to talk about the person. I won't accept it. Rather, I should identify things I feel are going wrong and go down on my knees and pray for my father. The Lord should protect him and keep his message. That's what you owe somebody you call your father. But all of these contradictory attitudes that has created a problem in the church, we should have to, because maturity is a problem. We have immature people who are being raised. So if you're mature enough, you will not deal with the issue like that. So maturity is even more of a problem than being mentored. People are not mature. So it's affecting the image of ministry a lot. I don't want to go dive in a lot of things, but maturity is our problem. So let's deal with maturity. And remember, he's a man of God. Man of God. That means he's a man. So when men make mistakes, let us see the man part of them and see if child should protect the father, not sell the father. I preached yesterday about Delilah and Samson. Somebody has given you his secret and you went and exposed it. Why? You already know that he has a problem. He's making a mistake. Why are you exposing the mistake? Why are you ruining a man who has helped you? Why don't you protect him and defend the message? Why are you making the man feel more embarrassed? Why are you doing that to somebody who you have called the father for more than 25 years? Why? So we need to know the role of children. Genesis 22:18. It says your kids will stand at the gates of your enemy. That means they will represent you, the father. Children should be the one to defend and protect the image of their parents, not the parents themselves. So there are certain things a child should not do, no matter the discovery you got. If you say God told you to start your church, no problem. If say God told you to get another mentor, I don't know who spoke to you about that. If God said so, that's your decision. But I will not be among those persons who will celebrate a message being preached because he's preaching a message you don't understand. Now you have to leave him. No. If you're confused, go and ask him the questions personally yourself and express your contradictions if you can do that. And if you cannot do that, then pray for the man. That's all I feel people should be doing. But our approach is today just create a lot of curses everywhere. Fathers are hot and they are making statements privately over children they have raised. And that's even more deadlier than whatever they are trying to say. So I pray people will have understanding.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, this next one says, good morning, Bishop. Bishop, sir, please, how do you advise Christians who struggle with unethical practices in their workplaces?
If you understand what I said earlier, you know, the problem is not when we have like minds. I am your boss and you observe me a lot and you feel you understand my passion. You understand because you must know my passion, know my pain before you now start talking of my prosperity. So if you don't know my passion, you don't know my pain, then stop praying for my progress. So if you are working in a system, the first thing you should do is to study the passion of the place. Then you decide now to take your own, because pain is not generalized. It's personal. I want to make sure this sector like this become prosperous. But first understand that prosperity, you must first accept the pain that comes with it. So the moment you accept the passion of the man, then decide to take on the pain, then you will not have issues that are unethical. That unethical atmosphere comes because you've not decided to take the passion, then gain access to the pain. When you start seeing things the way the man sees it, the way the system expects you to see it, you'll not be unethical. Anytime you see people being unethical to their jobs, they don't just see reasons to work. They don't see reasons to work. Watch me. I sat in a church many years ago and I saw a choir. I was not a member of the choir. I told myself I would join this choir to change, not the leader. I will join this choir and I will change this choir. That's what I've always done anywhere I enter. So I was sitting in that choir, I was serving, and I'll be the most loyal. I have never joined any group where I had a problem with the leader once in my life. I've never joined any system where I had a problem with the leader itself. I have never had. If they give time, if they give dress code, if they give support, anything, I'll be the first person to do it. But I will end up heading that system. When I headed that system, I grew it. When I became a pastor, I told myself the same thing. When I was pastoring a church and they say I've not gone to Bible school, the pastor came and spoke to me, spoke to the church, and he took me to Bible school and came back, all of that, tried to read. I didn't say anything. My interest was for the church to grow. And I built it. Because first, I studied passion and I looked for what to take in that system that I will grow. That is me. I don't stay redundant in a place. So if I enter a place, what will I grow here that will have a signal of my name? That is me. Anywhere I enter. I'm in a bishopric college in Lagos. I'm in 2. I've not been going for the past how many years. My name is still there. You see, send me text messages every day because the few time I spend there, I have a signal there. Anywhere I find myself. So the choice is you. To be unethical is for you not to understand that you have a work to do. When you begin to feel you have something to do to benefit the system, you will never be unethical. It has nothing to do with monies now, how much you are being paid. It has to do with you that doesn't have a drive for tomorrow. Money has nothing to do with your tomorrow. Money has nothing to do with your future. It's that drive, taking the passion of a system. I say, I can't be here. I mean, I invest my time, my money, my everything, my life, my everything. Everything about me is invested in that thing. If you caught me like this, I have nothing elsewhere than that work. I don't have. My relationships, everything about me is in one place. I don't have a divided life. Till tomorrow, I don't have. So when you live like that, you will now fight to succeed in anything you do. So that will help anybody who wants to grow.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, so we'll take the next question. And this one says, good morning, Bishop. Bishop, please, how should one handle unfaithfulness in marriage while maintaining their faith?
The choices of our choices in life is what creates those divisions. When we start making the right choices, we start doing the right things. So choices are the problem. The excuses we give have nothing to do with our actions. It's just the choices we make. So just start making the right choices and then you take the right decisions. And that act of your life will end. That's how to handle it.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, the next question says, Bishop, please, what do you believe is the greatest secret to a long-lasting and fulfilling marriage? This is from Deaconess Toyin.
Is selflessness. As I said the other day, marriage is more of giving, not receiving. It's the receiving mentality that has destroyed marriage. Because if you don't expect, you will not be offended. Expectation is what creates offenses. When I don't expect anything from you, so whatever you do, I won't be offended. But when I expect a lot of things for you, for example, you expect the man to bring money all the time and he does not bring, that will offend you. You expect the woman to cook food, sweet food, and she does not cook good food, that will offend you. So expectations are the problem. So if we stop expecting so much from the people we are married to and just give ourselves, if I come now and fall on you, that means I give myself to you. If you give yourself like that to the next man and stop restricting yourself, there'll be no problem. So giving should be what we should fight for, not receiving. It's a receiving mentality that has caused us to have a lot of problems in marriage. Because when you keep giving, you won't complain. Anytime, anyway, you just keep giving, you won't complain. You don't have yourself. You lose yourself. In your home, lose yourself. Self-esteem is for the outer world, not within your marriage. That's the problem. Some men are showing ego in their homes. Some women are showing ego in them, but that's why there's no peace. They are recording achievements. What are you doing with achievements in your marriage? What does a PhD program has to do in your marriage? What does you traveling to 16 countries has to do with your marriage? What does it have to do in your marriage? That home does not need all of that. All it needs is understanding. Marriage only needs understanding of two people. Does not need where you work, where you go to school, where you live, how you look. All that marriage needs is understanding. Give yourself. Reduce value and just give honor for one another and be selfless. And even two monkeys who understand themselves will stay in one house without having issues. So the problem is when we start giving ourselves societal covering. Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know what I studied? Don't you know that this one says he's fine? You don't say he's handsome. He has connections. You're saying that in your home. You have connections. You have connections to whom now? Your father is this, your mother is this, your brother is this. In your marriage of two people. So if we don't kill that mentality of referring to achievements within ourselves, yes, that's where the problem is. These referrals are supposed to be done outside, not within our homes. Not within your home. So let's learn how to give ourselves. Give yourself to marriage. That's why it's called marriage. Marriage means commitment. Give yourself to your home. Give yourself to your marriage. That's all. There's no other thing marriage is. Is giving yourself to marriage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, this next question is saying, good morning, Daddy. Thank you for this platform, sir. Sir, I'm really bothered about our current generation. Trends have taken over and we have lost steam of the reason we actually exist, and social media is not helping. I am not asking this for other people, especially the younger generation, who can readily take right from wrong, as it were, but are exposed to social media and the negative trends it now sells to the society. How do we cleanse our younger minds, and how do we stop these exposures?
You see, the problem is not the media, and the media is only complementing to what we have already become. The media is feeding the people who are now very immature in handling matters. The problem is the leverage of training now people have. There are more advanced privileges to go to school, which is correct, but the advanced processes is what we have to check. How solid is training today? can you tell me a decent young man sitting somewhere who can make a healthy conversation today without not going through a phone and checking definition? No. Everything, even man of God is preaching message with definitions of phone. So the thing is, our training process is becoming very poor. So the people we have, there are no strong minds anymore. Let me use the names here around: the Awolowos, the Azikiwes, the Sarawiwas, the Giwas, the one that is alive. What was that guy's name? The Wole Soyinka. Yes. These are strong minds. Chima Achebe, these are strong minds. How many young folks today are trained to have great minds? So the media you are seeing today is only feeding on the minds that are weak. The media was created to feed us. So it just came and checked. It's like the media just came in and checked. This guy is weak. Oh, just gives you what you want. So we are in an age where a boy of 12, 30 years ago can sit in a board meeting and take decision. A boy of 12 of today cannot do it. He may sit in that meeting and don't know what to say to adults. But a boy of 12, 30 years ago can sit, because the people he's sitting with are better in heads than him. So he's looking up to those men for decision making. You keep a boy of 12 today with a man of 50, hear the things they will say. So the thing is the lack of proper mind enhancement that has taken over our entire system. You know, I was trying to study the radiation of the phone that we keep close to our bedside when we sleep. When you off the entire light and you are flipping through your phone before you go to bed, do you know you may stay awake longer as long as that light radiation is on your eyes? When you are even through and keep the phone, you won't be able to sleep. And the more you keep doing that yourself, you're going, as the phone is still there radiating energy, you will be getting up from sleep with headaches. And all of these distractions in the mind will not give us access to knowledge, proper training. And are you noticing now that people don't keep their phones? They are not expecting a phone call. They just want to press. The man is not a businessman. He does not have anything to do with business. He just has a phone. So the thing is, the media just took advantage of weak minds. And if we want to solve it, we must go back to proper reading and proper discipline and proper training culture on people. The media is feeding on what she meant. It's not the media's problem. That's what the media meant, and it's feeding on it. And then, because the media too is money driven, so people have now said to themselves, I don't need to go to school anymore. I just need to have something that will make the people follow me. So I just go. So if the person chooses nakedness, and you know people are corrupt, they will buy it. If the person like to abuse people and people like to go through things that are corrupt, any part they know can sell. And even the men on the altar are doing the same thing. They are just using the altar now. They just speak a message that is contradictory that people are talking about. For example, someone is talking about industry and church. The man just takes industry and preach. It is true, people should go to work. Somebody is now preaching about saying pastors and tithe. He now takes and say tithe. People should not pay tithe. Just to gain attention. He just looks for what is trending and just take to get followers. So we don't preach to our audience. As I am heavily preaching to my people. Here, every time. I'm not preaching to anybody on Facebook. My people here, people I'm seeing here, people I'm preaching to. Every day I stand here. I have no intention of preaching to somebody that I'm not seeing. If you are listening to me, first I am feeding the people I see before you. So let us understand that the media is there to feed us. But because we are weak, we are wrongly using it. And the only way to go out of it is to train our minds by reading more and going to people who have better things to tell us. Then we will be matured back and become people who are not controlled by the media, but we are controlling the media and directing the media with a flowing water that comes to your path. If you have a flow gutter, it will flow past you. So if you don't have it, to come and stock your house and grow to cover you up. So we have allowed the media to cover us up. Let's create a package the media can just flow past. And we use it according to the way we want to use it, not the media using us. So that's a choice we have to make ourselves.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, we're introducing a very special program hosted by God's servant, Dr. Maxwell Egbe, holding every first Friday of the month. And it's going to kick off the month of May, the 16th Friday, I believe, this Friday, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Just an hour of profound wisdom shared, clearing doubts in all sectors of life. It's themed The Professional. Now, it's going to air live on YouTube and also the Honor TV. For the YouTube, it's Maxwell Egbe on YouTube. That's the handle of God's servant. It's going to be an amazing time because doubts indeed will be cleared in every sector of life. So no matter the profession that you're into, you don't want to miss it. And don't forget, it touches across every sector of your profession, whether you're a hairdresser or a salon owner, or a trader in the market, a fashion designer, a musician. As long as you're a professional, you have to be part of that 1 hour stream on YouTube. Don't forget, it's Maxwell Egbe on YouTube and the Honor TV, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You don't want to miss it. It starts this Friday, but it's every third Friday of the month, and it's going to be hosted by God's servant. More details will be on soon, and tell your friends who are business people, professionals, directors, whoever they are, to be part of that stream, and they will not regret it. In Jesus' precious name. Now also, this Sunday is going to be an amazing time as God's servant is taking a new twist with our wine conference. It's now the Abigail's principle for youth and single. We're going to learn the principles Abigail used to succeed in scriptures, how we can translate it to our young folks, our young adults, the youths, and also those who are considered preparing for marriage. It's going to be an amazing time, the Sunday, the 18th of May, 2025. The time for that service is 7:30 a.m. And also we're streaming in all platforms, including YouTube at Maxwell Egbe, the Honor TV, and also on Facebook at Dr. Maxwell Egbe, Maxwell Egbe, and Honor World International. It's going to be an amazing time. Let's hear the truths and the principles Abigail can offer our young folks and our young generation, so be part of that service. God bless you immensely. Now we're going to go to the last sections of this, but before then, we had an amazing time yesterday at our women convention, The Observant. The teaching was very profound and it was an eye-opener. It was an expository of how women cannot just be housewives, but in the words of God's servant, a wife to their husband, a model to their daughters, a mother to their sons, and also daughters to their priests. Now, it was a very profound time. We were thrilled by the women in their dance, their drama, and their music. It was exceptional. And we just want to take this time to celebrate every woman watching the Gospel Manager. We want to say we love you, and we are very grateful to your role, to our lives, and to the lives of society. But don't forget, always be observant, because that's the new norm for every woman, based on the teaching of God's servant yesterday. Now, the next question that we are going to pull up is, this is from Miss Oma. It says, "Good morning, Bishop. I am a politician. I have been a politician for the past 17 years. But, sir, I am a very devoted believer. But I would like to ask this question because of the current happenings around our political terrain. Now, sir, how do we maintain spiritual integrity while engaging in political discussions? Because I feel so sad for my political brothers in my political family. When they talk, it's just as though they are not even Christians. So how can we maintain this, sir?"
Choices are stronger weapons for any purpose to be fulfilled. So the choices we make defines how we run our purposes in life. So if you have a choice, and the choice is that I'm a believer, then the believing choices should define your approach. So what they do should just be a lesson. What you do should be your belief. So let him do his belief and leave what they do. What he does is his belief. So just do your belief, do the Bible, do what you believe in, and then ignore what other people do.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, this is another question, and this is from Mr. Jonathan Kimdichi. Says, "Good morning, Bishop. Sir, please, I want to first of all say that I am honestly profound at the level of wisdom you disperse here at Gospel Manager. I'm actually streaming from the Honor TV, but I just want to ask this very important question, and it's, what can we do when we see or feel that the love in our marriage is growing cold gradually? Now, what are the early signs couples should never ignore in every marriage?"
Offenses and fault finding are the causes of all of that. When you stop blaming, fault finding, picking errors, those things should not be there. As I said earlier, let's stop expecting people to give us what they don't have. What you don't have, you can't give to me. So I should be able to adapt to what you have and stay at peace with myself. So expectation is the problem of marriage. So if you reduce your expectation and don't allow it play itself, and look at your spouse, what can this person, people don't learn. Before you even build it, ask yourself a question: what can this person offer me? Emotionally, intellectually, financially, and otherwise. You ask those questions yourself. So when you look at what the person offers you, then you can know how to adjust yourself. That's now your marriage. So management is very key for peace to reign. The person is not your daughter or your son. You can put a verdict on your son. But for family, you must make sure that management plays itself. You must always build it around a vision and put management in it. So all this love getting died, love getting cold, is because of expectations. When you don't expect much from a teen, it doesn't bother you. Love will not die. Anything that you see dying is expectation that caused it. When expectation is not there, you just want to live your life with your spouse and grow. You won't have issues with all of that. Love will always be there.
you so much, sir. Now, there's something funny that happened, one this morning and one on Friday. Um, from what we got to know, that from the woman's question this morning to us, it was a male. She said that her husband caught her watching Gospel Manager on Friday and saw that she had asked a question that also bothers him. And then she also noticed that I asked the question and it seemed like it came from her husband. Now, why this is funny, but I just want to state here that Gospel Manager is not necessarily to cause dispute. Gospel Manager is to help you navigate the challenges. Now, irrespective of what you're going through in your marriage, your relationships, just take the profound wisdom and counsel from God's servant and live above the hurting. Now, this leaves me with the last question for this episode, and this is from Jude, and he's actually asking from Ebonyi State, but says he is watching via the Honor TV as it was sent to him by his cousin. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. My question, sir, is in two dimensions. The first one is, can you share a time where you had to personally forgive someone who hurt you deeply? And number two, sir, if someone feels they have tried everything and are still hurting, what should they do next?"
I have lived my life going through dimensions of hurts. So the most important thing is progressing above it. And progression above it is something you have to learn how to do. How do you progress above it? It's simple. Build a replacement immediately. Because you will not stay in hurt, because it's very destroying. It will destroy you if you stay in hurt. And two, you will always be in that room if you're a leader. So grow yourself to a place where it doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore. So when it's not making sense, it's not hurtful. But when it's making sense, it's hurtful. So when hurts don't make sense, it will no more be hurtful to you. Because I've always said, and let me come this way again. If people understand you, they won't hurt you. And if people know their worth in your life, they won't hurt you. If they know how important they are with your assignment, they won't hurt you. If they know what their departure will do to you, they won't hurt you. If they know what a statement you made will do to you, they won't say, these things they have to be studied. You know, one day I was in a scenario where we were all serving, and the pastor was shouting at everybody. I didn't like it. So I sat back and asked, why? Why am I even among these people where they're shouting at me like this? And the Holy Spirit said to me, because you have no reason better than them. So I told myself, I will never be there anymore. I'm not living the system, but I won't be shouting like this anymore. So I will always study every assignment I am giving and make sure I do it on time. Not the expectation of God or of the man who assigned the thing to me, because it's the man that gave me the job, not God. So I was always making sure that the man who I'm working with is satisfied. God, and that's what we don't know. That if your boss is okay, God is okay with you. If somebody gives you a job to do and you satisfy the man, you're satisfying the God of that work. All this eye service everywhere, I see people, I laugh at them. The person who gave you that assignment is the person you should please first. It's his work he gave to you to do. So if you're not doing it well, you're offending that person, and you're also offending the God of that system. You are working somewhere and they give you something to do, the boss gave you, and you say, God understands what? That man that gave you is the reason why you are there. If he didn't put you there, you won't be there. So I understood that earlier, that that's why if I walk with you, you will never forget me. If I take you to everywhere I have walked, you will not forget me. Everywhere I have stayed, walked and lived, you will forget me. Everywhere in my life. Because I understand the policy of privilege. Because understanding the policy of privilege is so powerful. That it's not by right, it's a privilege. So take advantage of the privileges that life offers you. And make sure that when you get those privileges, you use it right. So when you get this knowledge right, it's easier. All hurt will not be there. And then you see yourself making a lot of successes and triumphing over man's attitude. But I will not be in a team where they shout at people. No. I will make sure that I do my part of the job so well. That is me. That is me. So well. You will never talk to me twice in my whole life. To me, I feel talking to you once is okay. Twice, you are a stupid person. 3 times, you are an idiot. 4 times, you're a mad person. 5th times, you need to die. But there's no need for all of those conversations. Don't you have head? Don't you have ears? Are you not seeing? Don't you sleep? Don't you eat? Don't you go to the toilet? All those things, don't you? If you can do all these things, why are you not doing your job well? Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, this is a very good way to end today's episode, but I want to say thank you to everyone who had sent in their questions. Just for want of time, we're going to take them on Friday morning when Gospel Manager comes back. Thank you for sending your amazing questions, and don't forget, Gospel Manager is always here to help you through the challenging issues you're facing by way of providing counsel and a right direction to go about it. So special thanks to you. We love you. And we want to say continue streaming and also continue sharing the links to your friends, your family. And don't forget, Gospel Manager can also be viewed on YouTube at Maxwell Golden Egbe. So please note that you could also say that, and follow Gospel Manager on TikTok also, as well as follow God's servant, Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe, on all social media platforms at Maxwell Golden Egbe, and on Facebook at Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe, YouTube Maxwell Golden Egbe. You will not regret doing that because he has so much profound wisdom to disperse. Now I'm going to leave the floor now for God's servant to give his closing remarks as we call it a quit for today's episode.
You know, the Bible spoke about the good fight of faith, and I was trying to meditate that a few hours ago. If I ask you what's the good fight of faith, you say it's a fight of salvation. But as I try to translate the Bible myself, as the Lord leads me, the good fight of faith in my own definition is simple. Let's look at good, fight, and faith. Good is what is better. Fight means going for something that is presentable for you or preserving for you. And faith means belief. So let me bring it to a professional environment. If you don't fight the good fight of faith where you walk, why are you praying for progress? Because your good fight of faith is that you prosper in your labor. You prosper in anything you do, but you need to fight the fight of faith. That means there are contenders against that fight, that job. Your colleague can make you not do well. A family can make you not do well. A passerby. It's the same thing with church. How many people are really fighting the good fight of faith in church? Not for their personal life, for their church, for their workplaces. How many persons are doing that? We don't fight the good fight of faith for our churches. We fight the good fight of faith for our jobs, no, for our lives, prayer requests. But we don't fight the good fight of faith for our churches and for our jobs. If they give 3 people jobs to do and one person says, collapses the job, the other 2 will allow the job to collapse. So when they get there, they'll say, it's Mr. A that is the cause, so I'm not the cause. I did my best. Because if you are fighting the good fight of faith, that one person should not collapse that thing. 2 of you should fight him to do what is right. You come to church. One person who is grieved walks away from the church. runs down a ministry, and then 5 persons gather with 1 person, and that 1 person doctrinize all of them, they are not fighting a good fight of faith. Because if they're fighting a good fight of faith, that 1 person should see them fight to sustain the image of their church. So let us learn how to fight the good fight of faith. Somebody is leaving church, and you call him on phone, and all of a sudden you are begging the person. No, you are fighting the fight of faith to sustain that person back to church by all means. Somebody is misbehaving in the office, and you are bearing with him while he's misbehaving. Those are the fight of faith to sustain your job environment. Let us learn how to fight for our country. It's a good fight of faith. Fight for your church. It's a good fight of faith. Fight for your family. It's a good fight of faith. Fight for your job. People only fight for their families. They don't fight for the church. They don't fight for their country. Have you noticed we don't fight for our country? They don't fight for Nigeria. They don't fight for their churches. They don't fight for their job places. They only fight for their families. A sister can box another man because of a sister. A brother can box. A man can fight another man because of the wife. A woman can fight for the husband because of the husband. But people don't fight for their churches. They don't fight for their job place. And they don't fight for Nigeria. And let me tell you the consequences that when you fight for your motherland, you fight for God. When you fight for church, you fight for God. When you fight for your workplace, you fight for your stomach. We're only fighting for our families. And that's why there is so much of poverty in the land. God bless you. Have a blessed week.
Remember, to engage in the good fight of faith is what progresses what we do and where we are. Now, if you fail to fight the good fight of faith, you will engage in a loose fight that is fake. That's why we say, life is beautiful, and you, my friend, can handle it. Gospel Manager returns on Friday at 7 a.m. God bless you and have a productive week.